All right, we're back to the ticketing system. Now, this is the latest in a series where we're building a ticketing system. We started this 2 years ago, and we picked this up just a little while ago, like a week and a half ago, dusting it off, improving it. And what I want to do is get it in a really good spot where it's nice and polished. Now, the in the last session that we had this last Saturday, we moved everything that was in the app on start, and we only left one little thing here, and we moved most, if not everything, over to the app formulas. Okay, so we got some stuff over here. And then we also have some code over here in the loading screen on visible. And so we just set up some global variables. And that's what we did the other day. Now, what I plan on doing today with you guys is going through and making sure we have no errors. So right now we got some measle bumps going on, little red errors. And we do have some formula errors. So I want to clear all these up before we start adding more features to this. So that's what we're doing now. If you guys are really interested in the ticketing system, this is the last day. This is the last day that I'm offering the Black Friday special, which is you could get into the membership for $47 a month. You get locked in at that amount. And then starting tomorrow morning at midnight, it goes up to 97. So, if you're considering jumping in, and this isn't the only thing that you get with that membership. It's one of many things. So you get access to all the workshops, you get access to all the template files. So if you click on the links below, it'll take you to a screen where it'll tell you more information about that. Otherwise, we'll just jump into this. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the top here. I'm going to edit this in the formula bar. And we do have a global called current user. And what we did was over here in app formulas. Let's see if we have that global here. And we do. And we could get at it with the FX current user. And where exactly is this guy set up? Okay, this is set up here in the loading screen. Let's see here. If I open up the loading screen, we have two buttons here, create current user and create a demo user if needed. Now, if I go into the on select, here's all the logic to add them to the database. And if they're already in there, we just grab the reference that's currently there. Now it's complaining because this field, I actually changed this field. Instead of just photo, I changed it to a photo base 64. So it's a little bit more of a descriptive column name. So down here on the home screen, we should probably change it to reflect that. And let's go get the name of that real quick again. Right there, photo base 64. Now, I might actually do a search for photo here. And I might actually put a dot there. And let's see, so we got 29. Okay. All right, I'm going to hit replace all to update 29. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here and we have a full name. Let's see what properties we do have. We'll probably have a title instead of a full name. And I could also go over here to the Track a Ticket SharePoint site, and we could go in and look at the users table, and we'll see what actually is here. Yeah, I'm using title as a full name. Very good. All right, so now it's looking for all the navigational menu items. And I know I've changed this over to FX menu items. All right. Now I'm hovering over this to see what the problem is. Expected a different collection record structure. And what causes that is when you create a component like a menu like this, and we go over to menu items, this is a definition of a table, and the records have these fields. So I need to update that. So I'm going to go over to screens. I'm going to go over to the app formulas, and I'm going to do a search for FX menu items. Okay. So we have these menu items. And what's going to happen when we do this, whenever you do any type of component development and you go in there and you change what the default is, it will reset the property in the app to whatever you put here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this side by side. And I just want to look at the difference here and make sure that there's nothing that we're missing that we should have over here. And I think this is going to be fine. I'm going to take that out. Bring that in there like that. Very good. Now the screen to go to, the application using this component, you can't assume that they have a screen by the name of home screen. So what we're going to do is app.activeScreen to get a good reference to a screen without having to know any screen names. Okay, I'm going to go over here, go back over to the home screen, and let's see what we got. All right, now it's looking for some menu settings. Now we do have a new definition for the menu settings. So if I say FX menu settings, that should fix that. And let's see if we can find any more errors to change up here. So I'm going to do a global search and replace for that. FX menu settings. And I'm going to hit refresh there. And we got 52. I'll replace all of those. Okay. All right, now we got a global variable called var user roles. And this is a property of the menu component that keeps track of all the groups, security groups that the user is in. So I'm going to go find that in here. And if you see this, we have something much better than what we had before. So I'm going to copy this FX user roles. And if you see here, we have got these named expressions to find out if they're an app developer, app admin, app tester, or a reviewer. Okay, so every time we see that, we want to replace it with that. All right, we'll do a refresh, and it looks like we're going to have 27 changes. And I can take that out there. Very good. Okay, looks like things are starting to get cleaned up here. Now, what I'm seeing is only one menu item, and I know there's more menu items, but remember what I said, whenever you change the default, it's going to overwrite what you had in there before. So I wonder, this would be very nice if I could do a search for all of that and type in, let's see here, FX menu items. That would be really cool if we could do that, and that doesn't look like we can. So in this case, what we're going to need to do is go around to each screen and how do we want to handle this? Because the first screen is working fine. Here's a submit request screen. And let's see what we have in here. There's the full name. Well, that is going to be title now. We'll do refresh there. Replace 26. Okay. That wasn't too bad. So I'm going to do a Control A, FX, menu items. Now I'm going to put that on the clipboard there. And I'm just going to click on all of these different screens. And click in there, Control A, Control V. Next screen, we'll click on the menu, click on the menu items, Control A, Control V. And I don't think we need to do anything there, but we might as well do it for consistency's sake. Control A, Control V. So that's the new screen. Let's go to the blank screen. Control A, Control V. So this particular screen, okay, it looks at request notes. Perhaps this screen was a test screen, but I'm going to move this to the front, make sure the spinner is on top of that. Okay. Control A, Control V. Here's the tab screen. FX menu items. Okay. Control A, Control V. Control V. Now we do have several app admin screens that are very useful, and they were made in a seamless way, so it almost seems like it's all one screen. And once these are all done, after we take care of all these errors, you'll be able to see that. Okay. Control A, Control V. You know, now that I'm doing this, I'm wondering to myself, is there anything that I could have done to make this much, so I could just make one change one place and thinking about that. I don't think so, because that behavior it's going to replace the default. So and we're almost done here. And I'm not sure that these screens really do anything. I'm going to update this one. Okay, I'm going to save. Go back to the home screen here. Okay, and we'll be going screen by screen and just cleaning things up and make sure there's no errors. And I don't need that label there anymore that I created the other day. All right. Now, something I know that we're missing on the loading screen. I think I'm going to go ahead and remove that. That's just a little debug label. And we do have a spinner control there. Okay, very good. I'm going to add a timer. And what I'm going to do here, something I think I should do. Let's look at this. We have track a ticket. And I wonder, I was almost expecting for it to pull this in. Not that the users are going to see this, but let's go into FX theme and we'll look at primary dark. Very good. And I'm going to grab the dimensions of this guy. So 160 by 32. And perhaps make the font a little smaller there. Now check this out. This might be something that you guys may not know. If you select all three of these things, what you can do is you can distribute vertically. That's sort of nice. And let's see if this timer has any type of border radius. It does. So I'm going to pull in the border radius that we have for these buttons. And I'm looking for it. Looks like it's blank there. Let's go ahead and make that 5. That might be the same. There we go. Now what I want this timer to do is after 1 second, I want it to navigate us over to whatever the start screen is. Now let's go look at the app.onStart. I'm sorry, start screen. And it's set up to the home screen. Now that's not really what we want. I want to use the loading screen as the start screen. And the start screen property is actually set up for deep linking or query string parameters. So this is going to get us to the loading screen. And then once they come to the loading screen, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically take them to the home screen. Now, do we have any type of constant over here in at formulas that pretty much declares what the main screen that it should start off with? And I'm looking for it, and I do not see it. Let's say start. Oh yeah, there we go. Default start screen is right there. And on timer end, we'll go there. Do a navigate, start, default start screen. Okay. Now, what screen transition should we use? Do we have any defined? What you could do is go over to app formulas and define what screen transition. Looks like we don't have any defined. And I'm going to put it right here. So let's say default screen transition. Make sure that comma is in there. Screen transition. And we can pick whichever one that we want there. But that will allow for good consistency all the way through the application. FX at globals, default screen transition, and that should be good. So if we run this, it's going to go right over here to this screen. Now you might think to yourself, well, on this loading screen, this is sort of ugly. Why do we have this being displayed to the users? And we don't. Now I'm going to take one step further, create a container that we can put all that type of stuff in. That will probably be nice. Sometimes containers are a little hard to get a hold of. And let's give this a color of FX. Yeah, light gray color. And let's see here. What is in there? Yeah, that should be fine. Now that's just the hexadecimal. So what I would need to do, I'm going to do some renaming here. So here's the light color. Now I'm going to call this one hex because it's just the hex code. And this one right here is the color. So I'm going to say color value. All right, there we go. And let's add a little label here. And center it. Maybe make it a little bigger. This panel only shows for developers. Okay. be tempted to change the font color here to FX theme, primary dark. And I think I might bold that as well. All right. And I'll take these 3 guys. I'll cut. I'll paste them in there. And they're nice and centered. And I could, for the Y, let's make that 20. We'll make the X 20. And then for the height, let's make that parent.height subtract self.y multiplied by 2. And that should give us a little bit of a gutter all the way around. And I might change the Y to come down just a little bit there. Very good. Now, what I put on these buttons, if you look at the visible, we're looking at an expression called FX is studio mode. And I'm just going to change this back to true. And we have another one here. And for this container, I'm going to go into visible and say that, or FX GBL show debugging. So if they're a debug user and they turn on the debug feature, they should be able to see that as well. And I might want to put a little bit of a border color around this. FX theme dot primary dark. There we go. Now let's give this timer control a good name. TMR auto navigate. Okay. And we'll call this container CNT devs or testers. We run this, we should go over to the next screen. Just 1 second there. All right. Now we really don't have any data in the application besides the user table. And we also have departments set up as well. So we're going to remedy that fairly quickly. All right, so what I'm going to do, let's open this up. So we got okay, here's all the user roles that I'm in. I'm a user, developer, app admin, tester, reviewer. And what I want to make sure that is set up properly, if I go back over here to app formulas and do a search for that, I'm going to go look for the FX menu items. And you see this, show for this role. Okay. So this has been changed. So it's a lot, it's a little more cleaner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find those values again. That's pretty much these right here. Okay, here is a reviewer. So I'm going to copy that. Instead of that, I'll just have that there. App admin. Developer. So you have to be in this role in order to see this menu item. So the menu is smart to either show or hide menu items based on what they should be seen. So now we've got a lot more menu items. Okay. Now let's look at this background color. Menu back color. I think that could be improved a little bit. So I'm going to go search for that FX menu settings. And then for the background color, let's go look at that background color. And it looks like we're using white. Well, that's for that particular theme there. And the one that we're using, I think, is called Aqua. Let's go find that one. Here we go. We'll use F5. That's the back color. Let's do something like FA. I sort of like a lighter color there. I think that looks a bit nicer. So you see that? So if we go from screen to screen now, the menus will all be adjusted. And we just had to change in that one spot, which is, I think is nice. Now, I talked about there's some data that we need to have in here. Let's go to the application administration screen. Now, you notice if I hover over the icon, I get a pointer, but if I hover over this text, I'm not getting that. So I sort of want to fix that. I'm going to go over to components, open up the side nav bar here. See if I can open that up. There we go. And we've got that icon here. And whenever they click on the menu item, we have it on select. Okay. So I think what would be best is if we just add another icon. And I'll make it like that. So the X, I would set that up to not cover up that other icon, but actually appear beside it. So I'm going to say that menu dot X, which is probably 0, and then add its width. The Y probably should be 0. And the height would be parent dot template height, not the height of the whole gallery. And we'll use a magical color value, which is color dot transparent. Oh, not turquoise. There we go. And my video was doing something weird before. I don't know if I want to show it or not. It just seems to really lag really bad. So that might be more of a distraction than anything. I guess I'll go ahead and turn that back off. Okay, so the presence of this icon sitting here should change the icon for us. So I'm going to go back over here and open this up. And now we've got that. Now, if I click on reviewers only, it is working. Very good. Now, if you ever see this looks really strange, huh? You always need to make sure the menu and then also the spinner is at the very top like that. Okay. I'm going to go back over to application administration. And let's see what we have for this gallery here. We got drop down list names. Okay. Let's open that up and see what's in there. We got a screen to go to. So it's sort of like a sub menu. And what I'm going to do, it is sorted by sort order. Let's open up this. And let's show the title. Okay, doesn't seem to like that. In fact, when we were over here, has it as key. Now, I'm not sure why we made that to be key instead of like name. So I'm going to do a search for that one. I think I want to change that to name. But I don't want to break other things here. Okay, so all I need to do is go into that the label there and change this to key, I suppose. Now it was set up, if I hit Control Z, as title. I think I want to change that to title. There we go. There we go. And you also notice that these guys are appearing, but we're not getting a type of a pointer, like a hand. So let's go in here and let's change this up a little bit. Make sure we're on the right screen. Yeah, we just have a label there. Now I'm going to rename this label LBL down list title. And I'll do that other thing again. Icon. And I think once I do it now, I'm going to copy the YAML code so I never have to do this again. So the width will be same thing what we did a few minutes ago. Parent.template width. And then for height, we have a parent.template height. Change the color to color transparent. And I think that's it. Now, we do want to make sure on the on select it does say select parent, which it does. But let's actually give this a better name. ICO change pointer to hand. Save that. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to copy that code. And what I've been doing, I have got some good Power Apps code snippets. And let's see here. I'm going to add in a folder. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So these are all my code snippets that you guys might find really handy. So let's add a folder in here called icon. Change pointer to hand. Dot markdown. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to paste that there. And here I'm going to say Power FX. And now that's going to be there. So now I don't have to reset all this stuff again. In the icon, whatever icon, it really doesn't matter what icon it is. All right. So I'm just clicking around, making sure. Now the departments show up really well. How about that? We got 15 departments. Now let's look at the priorities. Now, you know, what I did here was I added this icon. I'm going to copy that. And really what we need to do is go around to all these screens. So this is request status screen. Go find the gallery and paste that in there. And let's make sure it's in this one. There we go. Edit assignment types. Find the gallery, go in there and paste that. All right. Show levels. Find the gallery. Paste that guy there. Go down to departments. And paste it there. All right, now I'm going to save, I'm going to run and click on each of these. I'm going to start in the application administration screen here. All right, request priorities. Very good. Statuses. Categories. Types. Show levels. Very good. All right, the type of stuff that we would want in priorities would be stuff like a low priority. We should also add a medium and a high. Now, I think I just overwrote my low guy. So let me add that guy in, which is good because I can sort of show you how this works. So I've got these little arrows. Allow me to move them around there. Then I want low, medium, then high. And let's add one more. And we'll call high and urgent. Now let me make sure. I should hit new first. Paste that, hit save. There we go. Okay, so that data's in there now. Now what about statuses? So the status of a ticket, we could have a status of new. We could have a status of working on. We could have one called waiting on customer. And what about completed? Okay, there we go. All right, let's go over to categories. And categories would be dependent upon what department we're in. So for example, let's go over to information technology and we'll add one here called hardware issue. Save that. Click on new. Let's add a password reset. Click on new. A bug. Let's call it software bug. What about a feature request? All right, there we go. Now assignment types. So a ticket could be assigned to either an individual or a department or a team. So let's actually just type in individual. Let's add one for a department. And I think those are the only two that we would want, at least right now. Let's go to show levels. What are show levels exactly? What are they used for? Well, this is like in what context or scope something can be viewed. Let's say viewable by all, so anybody can see it. Okay, let's do a new one. Department only. And then we'll add a new one called show only to me. So let's say I left a note on a ticket and maybe I could say something in there like this customer is very impatient. I would want them to see that. So anyway, so we've got those three levels and departments. They're already there. Okay. Now something I am noticing, if I select something here, it's in blue. Now I don't know if that's at the browser level or if maybe I could change that. I think it was the pressed self dot color. Yeah, I don't think I can change that. All right. So I'm going to minimize these screens here. We'll go back home. And we don't have any errors here. Now, something I do want to do is update the version. So I'm going to go to app formulas, look for 11.30 and change that to 12.02. And then we'll see that down there. And I like the version number to be faint, not so visible, so it doesn't clutter up the screen. But if somebody's looking for it, they can find it. Let's go look at our color palette real quick. Let's go down. It's called copy controls from here. And we have primary light. We have a secondary light. Let's go with that secondary light. That's probably not dark enough. Let's go look. Light gray color. No, that's too light. I'm going to go with like a medium gray. So over in at formulas, I will call it medium gray. And change it to that. Now it's still going to be a fairly light gray, but it won't be that light. Okay. Very good. All right. So what do we need to do from here? Well, we need to go through all these screens and make sure there's no errors. Now, this screen right here is the heart of the application. It's where you can add and edit tickets. So there's a lot going on here. And once we fix those, we'll probably be pretty close to having this up and operational. And so we've fixed a lot of things here. We've updated, got a lot of good updates in here. So in the next session, we'll go and fix